One thing I'd like to say is that I've been doing this for several years now, and I've heard a lot of people recite poetry. This year's crop is exceptionally good. Thank you. All right, round two. You know the players. Let's start again with Elise Ditzler. She is again from Rhinelander High School. And I thought proud moments might be a nice way to begin. She just passed her driver's test. The first time. Not just?
No. That was a proud moment. Just when I passed.
I don't actually think I know anyone who passed their driver's test the first time. And so I'm especially proud to introduce Elise Ditzler.
Every Single Day by John Straley, after Raymond Carver's Hummingbird. Suppose I said the word springtime, and I wrote the words king salmon on a piece of paper and mailed it to you. When you opened it, would you remember that afternoon we spent together in the yellow boat when the early whales were feeding and we caught our first fish of the year? Or would you remember that time off of Cape Flattery when you were a little girl, your father smoking, telling stories as he ran the boat, then the tug and zing of that very first fish spooling off into the gray-green world, you laughing and brushing back your hair before setting the hook? I know I'm hard to understand sometimes, particularly when you are standing at the post office with only a piece of paper saying king salmon on it. But just think of it as a promissory note, and that electric tug, that thrill pulling your mind into deep water is how I feel about you every single day.
From Milwaukee High School of the Arts, Maya Elliott is with us now. Her proudest moment. Won the Martin Luther King essay contest, but there's more. She opened for Natalie Cole.
Israfel by Edgar Allan Poe. And the angel Israfel, whose heartstrings are a lute, and who has the sweetest voice of all God's creatures. Quran. In heaven a spirit doth dwell, whose heartstrings are a lute. None sings so wildly well as the angel Israfel. And the giddy stars, so legends tell, ceasing their hymns, attend the spell of his voice, all mute. Tottering above, in her highest noon, the enamored moon blushes with love, while to listen, the red levin, with the rapid Pleiads even, which were 7, pauses in heaven. And they say, the starry choir, and the other listening things, that Israfeli's fire is owing to that lyre by which he sits and sings, the trembling living wire of those unusual strings. But the skies that angel trod, where deep thoughts are a duty, where love's a grown-up God, where the hoary glances are imbued with all the beauty which we worship in a star. Therefore, thou art not wrong, Israfeli, who despisest an unimpassioned song. To thee the laurels belong, best bard because the wisest, merrily live and long. The ecstasies above, with thy burning measures suit, thy grief, thy joy, thy hate, thy love, the fervor of thy lute, well may the stars be mute. Yes, heaven is thine, but this is a world of sweets and sours. Our flowers are merely flowers, and the shadow of thy perfect bliss is the sunshine of ours. If I could dwell where Israfel hath dwelt, and he where he might not sing so wildly well a mortal melody, while a bolder note than this might swell from my lyre within the sky.
Naeli Dewa is next from Durand High School. This is interesting. She says she's proud of how well she does in school and how she continues to challenge herself even after being told she could graduate early. And I can see how. She is participating in forensics, dance, track and field, tennis, yearbook, student council, and pep club. She didn't have time to graduate early.
Isla by Virgil Suarez. In Los Angeles, I grew up watching The Three Stooges, The Little Rascals, Speed Racer, and the Godzilla movies. Those my mother called Los Monstros. And though I didn't yet speak English, I understood why such a creature would, upon being woken up from its centuries-long slumber, rise and destroy Tokyo's buildings, cars, people. I understood by the age of 12 what it meant to be unwanted, exiled, how you move from one country to another where nobody wants you, nobody knows you. And I sat in front of the TV, transfixed by the snow fizz on our old black and white. And when Godzilla bellows his eardrum-crushing growl, I screamed back this victory holler from one so rejected and cursed to another. When the monster whipped its tail and destroyed, I threw a pillow across my room. Each time, my mother stormed into the room and asked me what I thought I was doing, throwing things at the walls. Ese monstruo, esa isla, she'd say. That monster, that island. And I knew she wasn't talking about the movie. She meant her country, mine. That island in the Caribbean we left behind, itself a reptile-looking mass on each map. On my globe, a crocodile-like creature, rising again, eating us so completely.
Isabel Carr is next, again from Madison Memorial High School. And it's nice to see that her proudest moment fits in with her grandest dreams. Proudest moment, playing King Lear in King Lear. Grandest dream, to play at the National Theatre for the Globe.
The Death of Allegory by Billy Collins. I am wondering what became of all those tall abstractions that used to pose, robed and statuesque, in paintings and parade about in pages of the Renaissance, displaying their capital letters like license plates. Truth, cantering on a powerful horse. Chastity, eyes downcast, fluttering with veils. Each one was marble come to life, a thought in a coat. Courtesy bowing with one hand always extended. Villainy, sharpening an instrument behind a wall. Reason with her crown and constancy alert behind a helm. They are all retired now, consigned to a Florida for tropes. Justice is there, standing by an open refrigerator. Valor lies in bed, listening to the rain. Even death has nothing to do but mend his cloak and hood. And all their props are locked away in a warehouse. Hourglasses, globes, blindfolds, and shackles. Even if you called them back,
There are no places left for them to go. No garden of mirth or bower of bliss. The valley of forgiveness is lined with condominiums, and chainsaws are howling in the forest of despair. Here, on the table near the window, is a vase of peonies, and next to it black binoculars and a money clip. Exactly the kind of thing we now prefer. Objects that sit quietly on a line in lowercase, themselves and nothing more. A wheelbarrow, an empty mailbox, a razor blade resting in a glass ashtray. As for the others, the great ideas on horseback and the long-haired virtues in embroidered gowns, it looks as though they have traveled down the road you always see on the final page of storybooks, the one that winds up a green hillside and disappears into an unseen valley where everyone must be fast asleep.
We're just about at the midway point, and I'm going to do something I should have done a while ago, and I encourage you to do the same. If you have a cell phone on you, would you please disembowel it? Our next contestant is Laura Radner, who comes from Brookfield Central High School. She is a writer and plays music. But her proudest moment, she said, is performing her first original piece at a school poetry slam. That's great. Welcome.
The Affliction of Richard by Robert Bridges. Love not too much, but how, when thou hast made me such, and dost thy gifts bestow, how can I love too much? Though I must fear to lose, and drown my joy in care, with all its thorns I choose the path of love and prayer. Though thou, I know not why, didst kill my childish trust, that breach with toil did I repair, because I must. And spite of frighting schemes with which the fiends of hell blaspheme thee in my dreams, so far I have hoped well. But what the heavenly key, what marvel in me wrought shall quite exculpate thee? I have no shadow of thought. What am I that complain? The love which began my questions sad and vain justifies thee to man.